Now I want to bring in Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee. And Senator, just your thoughts on what are the latest atrocities and what should our response be?
What we need to be doing, what the administration needs to be doing, is what Republicans have been recommending, Charles. These sanctions need to be more aggressive. You need to also be sure you're sanctioning Nord Stream. You need to cut off Putin's ability to sell oil. And President Biden should be pretty firm with France, with the EU, with Germany, and say, stop buying Russian oil. Likewise, we need to be picking up our production here in the U.S., finishing Keystone, drilling in Anwar, approving those drilling permits for leases that some of the independents, the wildcatters, the big oil companies, they all have these leases. And the Biden administration is just not approving these drilling permits. I think they've got one person over there working on this. All of those are things that need to be done. Likewise, quickly, on a timetable that we keep asking for and can't seem to get. When are we getting equipment, lethal aid, killing systems into Ukraine, into the hands of the Ukrainian military? They need these short-range missiles and the switchblades, and they need to be able to counter the drones. All that should be done, and they're just kind of dragging their feet. I want to know when these things are shipping, but also when are they delivered to the Ukrainian military? We can't get those answers.
That's a great point, because a lot of things are being promised but haven't been delivered yet. You know, Senator, despite this latest atrocity, really against humanity, it seems unlikely, though, that Europeans are going to do much more also than offer condemnation. You know, they're going to, say it's an awful act, but here's the problem. They boxed themselves in a corner. They got rid of nukes, they don't drill, and now they rely on Russian gas. You know, 7 out of 10 U.S. LNG tankers have been deployed to the continent. So we've done what we could, considering how much pressure our industry has been under. You know, why don't you think the administration sees this as a cautionary tale of trying to get off of fossil fuels? Why are they continuing this public relations war against the fossil fuel industry?
It's astounding. And when I talk to people that are some of the independents that are drilling, they're having a hard time getting financing because you have the pressure this administration is putting on the big banks not to bank the fossil fuel companies. And it makes no sense. They need to be incentivizing this. Likewise, they need to be saying to our NATO allies, to the EU, look, Russia is a big oil depot with an army, with nuclear weapons. We've got to stand together on this. But Joe Biden's got to stand up there and say, look, this is a genocide. This is war crimes. We're not going to put up with this. We're going to hold Putin to account for this and be the leader of the free world. This is a moment in time where he could step up and he could lead, and he is choosing not to do that, and it's disappointing.
It's heartbreaking. I've got a minute to go, but I want to get this in. I was watching you earlier on TV. Of course, the Senate Judiciary Committee expected to vote on the nomination of Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, send a recommendation to the full Senate. You've asked some of the more probing, provocative questions. You've made headlines. I heard you again today saying that you are a no. What stands out most to you about this process?
One of the things that I've spoken about in the process is how Chairman Durbin has chosen to go after some of us for asking questions. I also have been disappointed in how the White House gave information to the Democrats on these pre-sentencing memos, but they did not share that information with us, and we have not been able to get that information. That is a disappointment. And then the other thing is the lack of fulsome answers on some questions, the evasiveness. This is a lifetime appointment. This is the one time the American people can hear from this nominee before they are seated on the Supreme Court. They are wanting to have answers to these questions. There's nothing more important to people right now than parents, parental rights, being able to rear their children, and making certain that our constitutional guarantees and our freedoms are not eroded through actions of the court.
Absolutely. Senator Blackburn, thank you very much. Always appreciate it.
You got it.